If you've been lured into the shiny penny of the buy, refurbish, refinance, otherwise known as the BRR strategy, then I think you need to be watching this video. Good day guys, Sammy I Can Win here, and in this video we're going to be talking about the buy, refurbish and refinance strategy, but specifically one particular element, and that is the adding value versus restoring value element. Now, most people do not talk about this concept of adding value versus restoring value, and this is the reason I decided to make this video, because time and time again I've come across people who do not share the famous positive stories of money making and cashing in on the BRR strategy. So many people I've come across have shared with me about how they have bought, how they have refurbished, but they haven't been able to refinance at a level that allows them to actually take out a lot of their seed capital. And the question is, why does this happen? And I know why this happens, and this is the reason for this video today. Now, as you go around the property landscape, specifically in the UK, you'll find a lot of property trainers, coaches, etc., what have you, teaching people that they can buy, refurbish and refinance properties and take out all of the money that they put in originally. Now, the reality is that is possible. So I'm not here to say it can't happen. But to really understand the strategy, one of the key things you have to understand is the difference between adding value as opposed to restoring value. And this is one of the things that most people do not talk about. So to get us started in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you what restoring value actually means. Now, restoring value is the real process that most people, specifically novices, go and do when they purchase a property. So for example, if you buy a property and you're in the business of changing the carpets, painting some walls, restoring a gate on the outside of the house, and a number of other cosmetic light changes, then you are not adding any value to the property. Now, in terms of adding value is a whole concept in and of itself. So in a few moments, we'll actually get into what that really means. But coming back onto this point of restoring value, one of the things I want you to understand is just refreshing a property is not equivalent to adding value to that property. So to keep you in good stead, some of the words that come to mind when we think about restoring value are modernizing or updating or even light refurbishment. When you think of those concepts generally go hand in hand with restoring value. Now, why is this important? For example, if you buy a property for £100,000 and you're in the business of converting the green avocado bathroom and the old school wooden cabinets in the kitchen into some newer, modernized units, this in and of itself does not equate to adding value to the property. From my understanding, all you're actually really doing is restoring the value of the house by modernizing the house, by updating the house or giving it a light refurbishment, as I shared earlier. So the problem with that is when you have a revaluation later on down the line, you might assume to yourself that that is automatically going to result in the property achieving a higher value. Now, let me share something with you. It probably will achieve a higher value. But the thing you need to understand is just modernizing the property usually does not equate to enough value being added, with that being the key word, value added, in order for that property to be refinanced and through that refinance recuperate all of your initial investment. Now, the reason I decided to put this video together is because time and time again I've heard people, without sharing this significant concept, speak about the BRR strategy and share with people that it's the greatest way to build your portfolio, buying properties, refurbishing properties and refinancing properties. And like I said at the start of this video, yes, it's a strategy that works, but it works when you know how to work it. And so many people do not know how to work it. I'll give you an example. I remember last year, January, I met a lady who was buying her first property in the Doncaster area. And at the time, she shared with me her refurbishment plans and what she was going to do. She was actually on a flagship program from one of these big property trainers. And lo and behold, I met her again in January this year too. And when I met her January this year too, I had a chat with her and asked her, how has your project gone? Was you able to refinance and pull out all of your funds? And she shared with me the obvious answer, no. And when she shared with me that the answer was no, I knew as a result of our prior conversation the previous January that there was a possibility that that could have happened, simply because of the concept that the scheme that she shared with me that she was going to employ was not one where she was adding significant value, but it was one where it was just a restoration of value of the property itself. Due to my previous conversation with her, it was clear to me that she potentially was not adding significant value to the property, and as a result she may have ended up leaving some funds in. So when I spoke to her this January, one of the things she mentioned to me was that her original deposit funds were left in the property. And this is the thing I want you guys to understand. If your deposit funds, the main bulk of your investment in a property, are left in a property, then what is the point of doing the buy, refurbish, refinance strategy? So guys, this is the first start to understanding how to make the BRR strategy work for you, by starting to understand that there is a difference between restoring value and adding value. So at this point, you're probably thinking to ask me the question, so Samuel, what is adding value? To that question, I say, that's a great question. So when we want to define adding value, one of the things I want you to understand to start with is adding value is an expansive area to understand. And what that basically means is there are so many ways that you can add value. So many that a short video like this would not do it justice. But just to give you an idea, by adding a planning permission, by getting a change of use, depending on what that change of use might be, by converting certain parts of the property footprint. So for example, taking a loft and turning that into an ensuite bedroom or 2 bedrooms, by taking a garage and converting a garage into a bedroom, by taking square footage of the land and converting that into parts of property, by taking a house and turning it into flats, and so on and so on. The point is, adding value is adding something to the property that was not there before. Now this may be something simple like a piece of paper through means of a planning permission, through means of a license. This may be something more tangible like the conversion as mentioned before, but the point is you are adding something that wasn't there before, and this is when we start to get into the realms where the buy, refurbish, refinance strategy starts to make more sense. Now what I want you to do, taking on board this concept that we've shared in this video, is never be fooled again. Well look, not exactly that, but the point is, I don't want you running around the country attempting to buy properties to just change the carpets, put some paint on, and think that you're going to get all of your money back out, because it doesn't work like that. And like I said, there are many people touting around the country saying that that's exactly how it works. But guys, if it worked like that, every lemon would be a property millionaire. And that's not the case right now. So what I want to encourage you to do is start to think about how you can truly add value to properties in order to make the maths make sense. Now, again, I'm not saying that these are the only ways you can add value. Like I said, it's an expansive subject. But what I am saying is that there are certain ways to add value which will help you on your buy, refurbish, refinance journey. If you found value in this video, what I'm going to encourage you to do is hit the like button, press the subscribe, and also hit the bell notification so you can keep updated with all of the videos we drop as and when we drop those videos. Side by side with that, if you're the kind of person who's still trying to work out what kind of a property investor you are, I want you to go watch this video right here where I break down the 2 main types of investors out there, and hopefully you might find yourself. This is Samuel I Can Win. I'm signing out. Happy investing.